Hello students, my name is Satyanarayan and I am from IQ Ideas. I am creating this video today to guide you through the online application process for the Common Law Admission Test, the CLAT 2022. The first step is to go to the online website of CLAT 2022. For this, you may open any web browser like Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome and type in the address of the NLUs for CLAT application form. The web address is consortiumofnlus.ac.in, consortiumofnlus.ac.in, consortiumofnlus.ac.in. Once the website opens, you will come on the main page, where you can find links to various sections on this website. The information is available across the various links which you can navigate through the front page. On top, you can see the main detail. The Consortium of National Law Universities conducts the Common Law Admission Test. For details about the examination, they have provided a link. Below that, they have mentioned the dates for registration. The registrations open from 1st of January 2022 and close on 31st of March 2022. The examination will be conducted on the 8th of May from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. The date line is also given to the right, where 1st of January is the date of opening of application forms, 31st of March is the application deadline, and 8th of May is the date when CLAT 2022 will be conducted. Some information about the CLAT consortium is given here. As you navigate below, you can see various links. For the undergraduate students, that is students of standard 12th, who are applying for the 5-year integrated LLB programs, the undergraduate section, the undergraduate links are the most important one. You can check out the eligibility criteria, the basic syllabus and guide, the question paper format, sample questions, basic instructions, and some learning tools and materials which have been provided by the CLAT consortium for the law aspirants. In case you are a postgraduate student applying for LLM, you can visit the postgraduate section and the various links. This video is primarily for the students who are applying for the undergraduate program. Let's take a look at the various things which have been provided. I click on the CLAT 2022 link on the top right corner, which takes me to the page where I have a login. First, click on the undergraduate link given on top and check out the eligibility, syllabus guide, question paper format, and the instructions given. The eligibility guide, syllabus, and question paper format are the same as the previous year. I will quickly take you through the instructions which have been provided by the consortium. It's clearly mentioned that this examination will be held in the offline mode. The application for the exam is in the online mode only and only through the consortium of nlus.ac.in website. The date and timing of the examination is given. Those who are applying should be Indian nationals, NRIs, PIOs, or OCIs. It is also mentioned that foreign nationals need not appear for the test. In case you want to apply for the NRI sponsored or foreign national seats, you are advised to refer to the e-brochure of the websites of the respective NLUs for specific details. So if you are planning to apply for the NRI sponsored or foreign national seats, please go to the respective NLU's website and take a look at the formalities that may be applicable in your case. Information regarding the details of intake, reservation policies, and the courses which are offered, along with the fee structure of the participating NLUs, will also be available in these information brochures, which can be accessed from either the official website of the CLAT or the websites of the individual participating national law universities. The last instruction in the main column advises you to regularly visit the 2022 CLAT website for any updates. General instructions include other instructions where it starts again with a reminder of the window where you can apply for this examination. The website very clearly mentions that the application form must be complete in all details and the payment of fees must be submitted and paid on or before the 31st of March. Incomplete application forms will not be considered. So please be very careful that you completely fill in all the required details. The very first step is you're required to register on the 2022 website by using a personal mobile number and email ID. I very strongly recommend that you give that email ID and phone number which you regularly access, as any information from the CLAT consortium will be sent to you on these given details. You require to have the registered mobile number on hand during the registration process, because an OTP will be sent to this number which you will need to use for validation of your account. Please fill in the form very carefully and take special care to spell the name of the candidate and parents correctly. It goes without saying that all the details must be very carefully filled with no spelling errors. Once the application form is submitted and paid, you will not be allowed to change the program, category and the BPL field. And updates to the application form will not be entertained after the closure date. So, for students applying for the 5-year integrated LLB programs, please make sure you're filling the application form for the UG, the undergraduate program. Read all the instructions carefully and give all correct and authentic information. In case at any stage of application, it is found that the information given is false or incorrect, or there is a mismatch between the information given and the actual certificate document that you produce at the time of admission, your admission offered may stand cancelled and you will be disqualified from being considered for further admission. The preference order for the NLUs is not to be filled now. Your preference order for the 22 NLUs will need to be filled only after the results of the CLAT 2022 are declared. You are requested to choose the program undergraduate or postgraduate correctly. So for the 5-year integrated LLB candidates, it is the UG, the undergraduate program that you will be selecting. PG is for LLM students. I repeat, PG is for LLM candidates. They have given a disclaimer that in event of unforeseen incidents resulting in the cancellation of a test city or center, or insufficient or extra number of candidates opting to appear from a particular test center, the convener reserves the right to cancel such a city or center and shift the applicant to another city center. For this, usually they ask you to provide 3 choices of test centers. So in case you cannot be allotted the first one, they will go and allot the second or the third test center as is possible. In case you are going to claim the benefit of any reservation, which could be a category reservation or a reservation of domicile, you must be able to produce the relevant certificate as required by the NLU at the time of admission, right? Please be careful. The CLAT 2022 application fee is non-refundable and is not adjustable. The participating NLUs reserve the right to change the total number of seats and breakup of seats as per their policy before the final allotment. In case you end up filling more than one application form, your last online application form will be considered and there will be no refund of the application fees of the previous forms. Now, before you actually start the application process, you require to keep the following documents ready. A front-facing passport size recent photograph with a plain background, digital copy of the signature of the candidate. In case you're applying under a category, then the category certificate, this is for the SC, ST and OBC candidates. If you are a person with disability, then the relevant certificate issued by a competent authority. Similarly, if you come under the BPL category, then a relevant certificate issued by the competent authority. The original certificate and documents issued by the authorities as specified in brochures are to be submitted to the allotted university in the form and manner as specified by the universities at the time of admission. For the online application form, the photograph and signature need not be attested. And please be careful, all documents and certificates in case of categories have to be uploaded in the PDF format. The application fee details are given next, where it is 4,000 rupees for general, OBC, PWD, NRI, PIO and OCI candidates. For SC, ST and BPL category candidates, rupees 3,500 is the application fee. In case you want to have the previous year question papers, you will have to make an additional payment of 500 rupees. The fees figure mentioned does not include the bank transaction charges. So when you pay the fees for application, you will incur additional bank transaction charges which has to be paid by you. And remember, they have reminded us time and again, the application fees is non-refundable. Details about the admit card and hall ticket on when it is available will be intimated on the website. So these are some of the instructions. I urge you to very carefully go through them once again before you start the application process. I click on the top left consortium of NLUs and I go back to the home page of the website. Now, the click here button is clicked by me and it takes me to the page where I can start my registration process. For the first time registrants, you need to first create an account. So on the right hand side under login, there is a don't have an account followed by a register link. Click on the register button. It will ask you the details. I fill in my name. I fill in the mobile number on which I will be receiving the OTP which I need to use to validate the account. I need to give a valid email ID. I need to create a password for the website and confirm the password, and finally click on the register button. The moment I do that, it gives me a message that the account is successfully created and an OTP has been sent. Check the mobile number which you have registered. An OTP, one-time password for activation account has been sent. First click on this OK button. It will take you to the page where you need to enter the OTP which was sent. Once I enter the OTP which has been sent to my mobile number, I click on the activate button. Now it says that my account has been activated. Click on the OK button and now I can log in. Now I enter the phone number which I had registered and the password which I have used to create my account. Click on the login button. It takes me inside my account on the website. It tells welcome Satyanarayan to the CLAT 2022 application process. Candidates are advised to check that they fulfill the eligibility conditions, requisite marks and claims under different categories as specified in CLAT rules. Mere submission of the application does not give you the right of admission. Admission is subject to verification of documents, minimum qualifications and other eligibility conditions. For details regarding information on admission to the individual NLUs, you are required to go through the e-brochure and the websites of the individual NLUs. And NRI sponsored wherever applicable is subject to the outcome of the decision of the Supreme Court of India. Now we start the application process. For students of standard 12th or those who are willing to apply for the 5-year LLB course, click on the left hand side, the undergraduate UG 5-year LLB course button. Make sure that you select the proper course. The 5-year integrated LLB course, admission for which is through the CLAT UG, is the undergraduate program. So select the undergraduate program and click on the button which says apply for CLAT 2022. Once you click on that button, it confirms that you have selected the undergraduate program. Click on the OK button. It takes you to the application form. On the very top, you are required to upload the photograph and signature. Under photograph, click on the upload button. It will open a window to access the documents on your computer. I have already stored the documents in a specific on my desktop. So I select the image which I've already saved on my laptop and click on open button. It gives me the option of cropping the photograph. So I make sure that the image is properly fit inside the area which is given. Make sure that it is not too zoomed in or too zoomed out. It has to be properly visible when printed. So make sure that the face is very clearly visible in the window. Click on the submit button. It asks me to confirm whether I want to upload the selected image. Click OK. As you can see, my image is now uploaded. The second thing is the signature. Again, I click on the upload button. Again, it opens the window where I can access the documents on my machine. I select the digital copy of my signature. It allows me to adjust my signature. Make sure it fits perfectly within the given area and click on the submit button. It asks me to confirm whether I want to upload this image. Click on OK. As you can see, my image and signature have now been uploaded. Now, I'm asked to fill in my name. It asks me to fill in the name as shown in my 10+2 certificate. So make sure that you properly type in the name the way it is written in your 10+2 certificate. It asks me to confirm my date of birth, which includes the day, the month, and the year. Make sure you enter the correct details in this case. It asks for my mother's name, which again I enter. It asks me whether I want to apply for NRI reservation category. In case I want to apply for NRI, OCI or PIO category, I need to select that. In my case, I am not going to apply, so I do not select any of those details. On the right hand side, it asks me to select my gender. It asks me to enter the name of my father. It asks for my nationality, in my case Indian. Select the appropriate nationality as applicable to you. Under All India category, if you fall under OBC, SC or ST and have the relevant documentation to prove the same, you may select that. In my case, I fall in the general category, so I select general. It asks whether I am under the EWS category, the economically weaker section category. In my case, it is no. In case you do fall under the EWS category, select yes. As I do not fall in the EWS category, I will select no. Is the candidate in the NRI sponsored category? For me, I select no. In case you wish to apply for NRI sponsored category, you may select yes. Because I do not fall in the category, I will select no. Again, select whether the candidate is in the disability PWD, person with disability category. In case you fall under PWD, where you have more than or equal to 40% disability, you may select yes. I do not fall in that category, I will select no. It then asks whether I fall under the below poverty line category. Again, I will select no. For the domicile state, it asks me to select. For me, as it is Gujarat, I will select Gujarat. In case I select the state, it says select the state only if you are domicile of the state and have the relevant certificate to claim the state level reservation. Please refer to the university brochure for eligibility criteria. Right? So in case I select no, it again goes back to select domicile state. So in case you have Gujarat domicile, then and only then select this. If you do not have the Gujarat domicile, just keep it as select domicile state. So for those who are applying using the domicile category of Gujarat state, select Gujarat and yes. Make sure that you have uploaded all the details correctly. Verify the spellings and the selection of categories. And when you are sure that all the categories have been correctly filled, click on Save as Draft. Once you have saved all these things, on the bottom there is a right arrow. If you click on that, it takes you to the next page where you have to fill in the address. fill in the correspondence address as applicable. In this case, I will enter the address where I wish to receive any communication from the CLAT consortium if applicable. So I enter the address. I need to select the state, in my case Gujarat. My district is Ahmedabad. The pin code for this area I enter. It asks me for my permanent address. Now, in your case, your permanent address and your correspondence address may be the same. But in case they are different, then you need to enter the specific details for both of them. The correspondence address is the address where you want to receive all information from the CLAT consortium. Permanent address is, as the name itself suggests, your actual permanent address. So I select my state, I enter my district, I enter the pin code as applicable to this particular area. The mobile number they are confirming. The mobile number is the one using which you have registered. So this is something which cannot be changed. You will be receiving all notifications to the number using which you have created this account. An alternate number is asked. So in case the first number cannot be sent, the alternate contact number is the number on which the details will be sent. So now I have filled in another number on which I may be receiving my messages. Once you're sure that you have completed all the details and entered it correctly, again click Save as Draft. This saves the details which you have given. Again, you can use the right arrow button on the bottom of the screen or directly click on the third tab, which asks you to fill in the details of the qualifying examination. The qualifying examination, you can either select 10+2 or equivalent, arts, commerce, humanities, others or science. In my case, it is 10+2 science. The board or university. So for me, it is the Gujarat Higher Secondary Education Board. Enter the board or university, which may be either CBSE or the Gujarat State Board or the state board of your region or ICSE or IB, whichever is the board or university from which you're going to complete your 10+2 or have already completed it, should be the board or university that you're selecting. Third, if you have already completed and got your 12th standard certificate, then you should be selecting passed. In case you're going to appear for the board examination in the current year or have appeared for the board examination in the current year but the results are awaited, then you must select appearing or appeared. In case you already have given the 12th examination by last year and have got your 12th certificate, you will be selecting passed. In my case, because I have completed my 12th long back, I will be selecting passed. In your case, if you are going to write the examination this year, then you should be selecting appearing or appeared. The month of passing will be the tentative month in which you expect to be completing your 12th standard. In my case, the examination was in March and the results in May. I passed my 12th in the May of the year, and the year in my case was 1999. So I'll be selecting May of 1999 as the year and month of passing. In your case, if you wrote the 12th exam last year, then the year of passing would have been 2021. In case you are going to appear for the examination this year, 2022 will be the year of passing and the month in which you expect to be writing the exam. Don't worry if the dates are not announced or you expect it to shift by a month or two. You can just select the rough month in which you expect the examination may be conducted. Now, in case you have already completed the 12th examination and have received the 12th standard results, then in that case, you are expected to enter the percentage. As you can see, it is not a compulsory field. So for students who have just appeared or are going to appear, you need not fill in the percentage. Students who have passed the exam and have got the results are expected to enter their percentage in this particular field. Again, save as draft and then move on to the next section. Now, test center is very, very important. It gives you the choice of 3 test centers. This is the place where you will be appearing for the offline CLAT examination. Please remember, your choice of test center has no relation with your admission. Your test center is merely the place from where you want to write the examination. So always select the test center where you will be able to reach easily on the day of the exam. As I am based in Ahmedabad, I will be obviously selecting Ahmedabad as my test center. So for me, Ahmedabad is my first preference. Do not select the same city in all 3 columns, because in case Ahmedabad is not allotted to me, I need to have a secondary and a tertiary option. So as I am based in Ahmedabad, my second option will be Gandhinagar. Gandhinagar is a city near Ahmedabad. So in case I'm not able to get Ahmedabad as my test center, if I get a test center in Gandhinagar, I will be easily able to reach there on the day of the exam. So my second preference is Gandhinagar. The third center which I select, that is in case I'm not able to get my first or second choice of a test center, is Mumbai. So I have to be mindful that in case I do not get Ahmedabad or Gandhinagar, then I will be required to reach Mumbai on the date of the examination well in time to be able to appear for the CLAT. I repeat, it is not necessary to select an application, a test center thinking that it has any relation to your admission. No, this is your convenience. Your first test center preference is the most convenient place for you to write the exam. Alternate option is your test center 2 and alternate option is your test center 3. Make sure you select test centers in places where you can very comfortably reach the center on the day of the exam. I have selected Ahmedabad, second choice Gandhinagar, third choice Mumbai. Save as draft. Once I have saved this page, I move on to the last page, which is a reservation. Now this is a very, very long form because they expect you to enter the details for each of the participating national law universities. Because I selected general category, the default selected reservation has been set as general. Now, starting from the first one, for NLS Bangalore, am I a Karnataka student? No. For Nalsar Hyderabad, am I a resident student of Telangana? No. You have to select yes if you are indeed a student of Telangana or Karnataka as applicable. In my case, because I'm from Gujarat, I'm a student from Gujarat, I'll be selecting Gujarat when applicable and no for the other cases. In your cases, you must select your resident status as is applicable. Now, for NLIU Bhopal, they have asked whether I'm a JNK resident. Because I am not, I will leave it blank. For WBNEJS Kolkata, again, they have asked whether I'm a domicile of JNK. I have left it. NLU Jodhpur does not give me any options. HNLU Raipur is asking whether I'm the ward of a Kashmiri migrant or a student of JNK. As it is not applicable, I'm going to leave it blank. For GNLU, because I selected Gujarat domicile, it clearly indicates that general and Gujarat domicile are my pre-selected categories. Other than that, it gives me the option of JNK resident from Northeast India or the sports quota. I am not going to select any one of these as it is not applicable. In case it is applicable, select it. For RM, LN, LU, Lucknow, I have two options: sons and daughters of defense personnel employed in UP or defense personnel of UP either retired or killed or disabled in action. And second, wards of Kashmiri migrant, Kashmiri Pandit, Kashmiri Hindu families, non-migrants. I do not select as it is not applicable. For Punjab, I have four choices: ancestral resident of village Sidhuwal, district Patiala, resident of Punjab, ward of Kashmiri migrant or JNK resident, not applicable. Patna does not give me a choice. For Kochi, JNK migrant, not applicable. Native of Kerala, select no for me. For Odisha, am I a domicile of Odisha? No, I am not. For Ranchi, not a JNK resident. Am I a resident of Jharkhand? No. For Assam, it asks whether I'm a permanent resident of Assam. In my case, no. For Vishakhapatnam, am I a ward of Kashmiri migrant, Kashmiri Pandit or Kashmiri Hindu family non-migrant? Not applicable. Tiruchirappalli does not give me a choice. For MNLU Mumbai, ward of ex-serviceman defense personnel or JNK resident? No. For Nagpur, no choice. For Aurangabad, ward of ex-servicemen or defense personnel? Not applicable. For Shimla, ward of serving or retired or defense personnel, ward of Kashmiri migrant, JNK resident? Not applicable. For Jabalpur, JNK resident? Not applicable. For Sonepat, ward of landowners of RGEC, WL? Not applicable in my case. So in your case, you must carefully select all those categories where it is applicable to you, and in case they ask you to select between yes and no, you have to select one of the two options as applicable in your case. Once all these selections have been done, in the bottom they have specified that in case of NRI, PIO, OCI, NRI sponsored candidates, the candidate will be allotted a CLAT rank, but they will not be included in the seat allocation process for the categories. They will be required to directly approach the respective NLU with the rank for admission. They ask to confirm that you affirm and state that the information provided, furnished in the application form and the certificates uploaded are true to the best of your knowledge. Finally, I do hereby consent to indicate on sharing the details of the name, score or communication to any third party contracted by the consortium for the purpose of admission to institute or recruiting agencies. Right? In case you say you have given your consent, then all these details will be shared by the consortium to third parties, which could include institutions or recruiting agencies. So please be very careful on whether you actually want to give your consent or not. Once you have completed this formality, click on submit form. It asks me to confirm. Because I have checked all the details and I'm sure that I have filled in all the details with no errors, I will press on OK to confirm my action. The form is now submitted. It automatically now takes me to the page where it shows me all the details which I have filled in. My photograph and signature, my allotted application number, name, date of birth, the program for which I have applied. On status, it shows that I have submitted the form, but the payment is pending. Please remember that your submission is complete, your application is complete only after you complete the payment process. At this point, your application is not complete, so technically you have not completed your application for the CLAT. You will have to complete the payment process, then and only then your application is accepted by the consortium. At this point, it gives me the option of edit or delete the application. So in case I want to change any information at this point of time, I have an opportunity to edit. So in case you are not sure of whether you have filled in all the details correctly, please click on the edit application form and make the necessary changes. Once you click on make payment and complete the process, you will not be allowed to make any changes. Once you are very sure that the application form has been correctly filled, click on the make payment button. The application fees is 4,000. They give us the option of whether I want the previous year question papers. In case I select yes, an additional amount of 500 is added to the amount. In case I select no, no amount is added to 4,000. So in my case, I select no for previous year question papers. So it shows me that my total payable amount is 4,000. Once I click on the confirm payment button, it asks me to confirm my action. When I click on OK, it takes me to the page where I can complete the payment process. It confirms that there will be an additional transaction fee charged by the gateway, which will be incurred by me. Once I click on the pay now button, it takes me to the payment gateway, which will process my payment. On the payment gateway, it asks me to confirm the phone number and the email ID. Once I enter my email ID, I have to click on the proceed button. It gives me the options of using a credit card, which could be Visa, MasterCard, RuPay and others, or a UPI payment system like Google Pay, PhonePe or others, or directly through net banking. When I select any one of these, it asks me to either add a new card, or if a card is saved on your system, it will ask you to enter the card details. Now onwards, the payment procedure is exactly like any other online payment which you may be doing on e-commerce portals to make a purchase. I'm going to stop the payment process here, but once you complete the payment process, you will get a confirmation of the same, and then and only then you will be considered to have submitted your application form. So I hope this video is useful to you in understanding how to make the online application for the Common Law Admission Test CLAT 2022. Please be very, very careful in entering all the details correctly. Please make sure that you have read all the information necessary on this website and then complete the application process. Wish you all the best and have a good day.